today is so that you can figure out one, how I was doing it, which is most importantly, understanding how to create an index to information that is associated with our podcast. Most importantly, hey, what common questions this episode answers, right? That's the section you want to have in there. And then you actually want to list out the questions and in the answer format so that it increases the chances, right? For whatever niche, whatever mission you're on, whatever content you're creating, because I believe that you're creating a content typically to answer a question or to solve a problem, I'm assuming. So what I did, and you've been watching our lives on YouTube, youtube.com/, you would have seen how I created all these skills. Now, this skill is now called a GEO, content optimizer. GEO stands for generative engine optimization, which is how you optimize your content so that increases the chances of you showing up ChatGPT. And within this, right, I created four markdown files, MD files. Markdown files is, think of this as a standard operating procedure, right? The process, the content, you have to refer back to every single time you do something. And for this one, right, all I had to do was train it so that I taught it to take the transcript, which is right here, Affordable Housing Real Estate Investing Podcast interview, which I'm going to be releasing this Thursday, tomorrow. And now it's able to take obviously I had some edits, right? So like I went through the first draft. I was like, hey, let's make some changes here. Let's do this and this. And now I'm saying, hey, let's go ahead and try this. So you can kind of see right here on this YouTube video description, right? So I gave a transcript and it gave me a video description that I can put onto YouTube that allows me to increase the chances of someone referring to my podcast as essentially the encyclopedia for whatever question that they might be asking about, right? This is so important. If you don't have this, then you might just be forgotten in the future. And so as I go through here, right, one is boom, I see some mistakes here. It's like, hey, that's not his email. And as I looked at it, right, then I also had to go through the entire transcript, like, hey, look, find me the clip or find me the section for the transcript that answered this question, right? That people want to ask about it, people want to learn about it, and then they also actually answer that question. So now, what used to take me 2 or 3, 4 hours every single week going through the content, sifting through it, trying to figure out what is the question that this clip answers or this section answers, it does that for me so fast. And more importantly, it finds the question that other people care about, that other people are searching for, that other people are asking ChatGPT or Gemini specifically. So as I kind of go through this, right, I can kind of see like, okay, the hook right here, the CTA, listen to the bio. Please update the CTA for all clips on Instagram or TikTok to reflect comment a suggested word such as NFF or Sean, DOS, CDFI, for the link to the full episode. In the skill going forward. So I don't want to do it all right now, but I want to update the skill because I don't ever want to make that edit again. So how I like to tell people is imagine this is an intern, but this intern, your AI agent, has a perfect memory. It remembers exactly your preferences, it remembers your style, and it even remembers the mistakes it made because when you correct it, it's never going to make that mistake again. So this is why I really take it into account, right? So boom, you can kind of see right here when you have Claude Code and you mix it in, right? CTA, want to link, listen to the bottom full episode, and now this is the deleted skill, right? Now it's use the comment keyword for the link to the full episode. Choose a keyword that's specifically relevant to the clip, right? That's what we have to set up. And if I notice something different, choose a keyword that is specific and relevant to the entire podcast episode. not just a clip, so we don't have to manage so many keywords automations on ManyChat. So I saw it propose a change to the scale, and I already knew that, hey, if it was coming up a new keyword for every single clip, then I know that that would cause me more work because I have to set up more ManyChat automations. This way, I allow just a boom. I want that word to be relevant for the entire episode that I'm publishing these clips to promote for, right? So that's what we're doing here. And that's why I'm updating the skill. And that's what you have to learn if you want your podcast to show up on ChatGPT or Gemini as the best podcast in your respective area. And now all I have to do is something so simple. I just got to copy and paste it, right? I made some edits, but I just got to copy and paste it. And like, that's it. That's wild, right? How awesome is that? And if you aren't learning this, I mean, you just have to learn this. Otherwise, you are just going to be behind. And you're going to be moving at a fraction of the speed that everybody else is operating at. And I think that's what's the scariest part, to be honest with you. So now I just go to my podcast. You can kind of see it right here. This is going to be description. Common questions, answers. What is CDFI? Boom. I already had the reference, so I'm not going to repeat that again. Boom. This is our exceeding. So keep the questions as is, so I can save some space. Now this way I have some chapters. Boom. Now space for chapters in there. Boom. And now that's it. I have this description. Okay, now I want to say as part of the video description, so now it's making all these ones, right? Keywords. So now it's also doing it for the entire episode. So it's making all these edits, and yes, that's fine. So now it's making all these edits in all my reference files so that it doesn't make that mistake again, right? Because it has a platform spec, like, hey, this is what you want to do for TikTok. This is what you want to do for YouTube, right? All this stuff makes sense. As part of the package, please also act as a world-class geo expert in YouTube class YouTube thumbnail and headline designer. Please always suggest 3 potential video titles that optimizes for 1, click-through rate, right? And 3 separate YouTube thumbnail captions that optimize for click-through rate, geo, and Boom. Geo content optimizers package. Okay. So now what I'm doing is updating the skill. It's like, oh, you know what? That's something I do spend time on. You know what I spend time? I also spend time coming up with 3 titles every single time, 3 thumbnail captions every single time for do my ABC test, right? Typically called A/B test, but I want to make sure I put in more options there so that it gives me that thought process, and I can use my own taste, use my own judgment to figure out, hey, is this something that I really want to apply for my specific podcast episode? And this allows you to figure out, okay, going forward, it's doing like 90% of the thinking for me. Again, I follow the 10-80-10 framework, right? You have to be upfront, doing the 10%, inspire, give it a goal, give it a mission, tell it what you want. It's going to do the next 80%. But then at the last 10%, you get to come back in here and just edit it. You have to give us some feedback. You have to pick and choose which one sounds the best to you, because that's so important. That taste, that creativity, that you know what your audience wants, that's unique to you. So I just want to kind of share you with all, right? I showed you the YouTube skill, the Claude skill today that you had to implement for yourself. Then I literally showed you how I put it onto my podcast. And then 3, I showed you how I went back and I try to create a continuous improvement loop for myself so that I go back in here and also say, hey, please let me and help me come up with 3 suggestions every single time so that I know how to best utilize and leverage my time going forward so that I don't have to do this again, right? This is going to be so fun. I hope you all have an amazing Wednesday. I'll see you all tomorrow for day 887 of going live. Have a good one, everybody. Hopefully it's helpful. And again, this is a skill that you got to learn today. And funny enough, the skill you got to learn is learning how to create skills. Have a good one, everybody. DM me if you have any questions.